You are listening to an exclusive on Pod Hub Network. Your city, your podcast.
To the delight of this crowd, McClendon marches down the dugout steps with first base.
McCutcheon's throw. The runner breaks to the plate. Here's the throw. That ball's hit well to left center field. Back toward the track. And that ball is gone.
You are listening to the North Shore 9 podcast. Follow them on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Also, make sure to watch NS9 Live every Thursday on Twitch and help support by becoming a patron. Let's go Bucks!
All right, so let me start this off right. Yo, yo, yo. Welcome to NS9 Live. I am your host, Anthony DiNardo, and with me is Tyler and Jim. Did I do it right for you guys?
You did it right that time. Yeah.
Last week I got yelled at for not saying yo, yo, yo.
You threw me off not just starting off with yo, 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 though.
All right.
I didn't really like that.
So now we know we have a good show ahead of us today.
Not gonna lie, you even threw me off by your little, let me do this right. I thought we were still pre-show.
No, we are live. So what's up?
Oh,
Cool.
yeah. Series win for the Buccos.
And
Lots of stuff going on right now.
win.
Yeah, we kind of got a lot of stuff to talk about tonight, I guess, don't we? Busy last 36 hours or so.
Yeah, I was going to say that too. I was trying to figure out that, like, in the math, like it's been less than 36. I feel we've played 3 games in that span, and we've probably had about 36 transactions happen as well. So there's a lot to talk about today in just a day's worth of no episodes of North Shore 9 here. I guess
Sometimes I look at myself in this camera and think I am so good looking.
Well, I'm glad you do, because the 12 people in the stream right now,
You're the only one.
God, when you guys tell me to bring it, I bring it.
guys, let's give an F in the chat for Tyler.
I just wanted to point that out. Baseball was happening? What? Too busy looks glaring into my own eyes.
About we saw Miguel Yajure yesterday.
Oh, yeah, that happened.
Yeah. So much stuff has happened.
I kind of forgot.
36 hours, 3 games, and 10 transactions, some news, some injury news. Yeah, we got a lot to talk about. That was really the first time, I saw Yajure in limited usage during spring training, but got the start yesterday. His first, that was actually his first major league start yesterday.
Yes.
And I will say this, it kind of crumbled there in the 5th inning for him, but man, that curveball was nasty. Just an unreal break on that thing. Tyler, I know you were watching him. You had some. I know you were talking about him a lot in the chat.
Jim, you talk a lot about. We talked a lot about conviction with Mitch Keller before. I think you saw a lot of conviction with Yajure. He missed some pitches. Location was off. He hung a few changeups up in the zone. Sometimes he didn't get the spin on the curveball, but he was still throwing it. Come hit it.
And I guess
that's probably the most impressive part.
Well, I was going to say, I think that's probably one of the things you could look at in this situation too. I mean, this is his first start, as Jim just mentioned, his first start, and he didn't come out scared. I mean, he's young, he's a prospect, the first start, and it's not like he's been implanted in this rotation. I mean, he got called up because of the doubleheader, kind of on here's a notice, you're going to pitch today type of situation. And he came out and he looked and played the part. Now, when you look at the overall stats and numbers, right? I mean, lasted 4.1 innings, 4 earned runs, on 4 hits and 2 walks, 2 of those being home runs, unfortunately, and 4 strikeouts. So, the overall numbers, you look at it and say, wow, 8.31 ERA, this guy sucks, right? But I don't think the numbers support anywhere near of what we saw, the eye test on, of course, the very first start, but certainly what we saw. I came out with this pretty impressed.
Yeah, and what jumps out is I think the delivery looks very effortless right now. When he did miss, he wasn't missing by much. So you wasn't like watching Tyler Glass now back in the day where it's like, oh dear God, this guy can't come near the zone.
Sure.
When he was walking, guys, he was missing right off the plate. There's a lot to be encouraged by.
Yeah, and I'm actually a little confused. Like, I think Statcast was confused on kind of what he was throwing, because I think he was throwing a two-seamer, but Statcast was calling it a changeup. Because I was kind of looking at this, and I was like, what is this pitch that he's throwing? I mean, he threw the ball 87, 88, like pretty consistently. So it looked like he has like three pitches that are kind of all in that same range. The stuff is weird because we're used to seeing these power pitchers nowadays, especially young arms. Like, you're used to seeing guys pump it 95, 96, and then Yajure was like old school baseball back there. He was topping out at 90 miles an hour, and kind of that the curveball, he didn't throw it a ton, but when he did, he was getting swings and misses. That it was easily his best pitch. He had a 100% whiff rate on his curveball, which is pretty incredible.
Right.
No one made contact against it. Nobody made contact with his curveball who swung at it. But it was a lot of like cutters, changeups, two-seamer. I'm not really sure what that quote-unquote changeup pitch is that Statcast is saying, because his changeup was faster than his cut fastball. So who knows, really? I'm kind of curious to see what exactly he was throwing. Somebody probably needs to ask him. But the movement, I know it's a very small sample size, but I'm looking at the Statcast. The movement on every pitch he threw is through the roof. Like, it's red.
Red, yes.
The vertical movement on everything is red. Yeah. So that's good to see. The stuff was good. It was not like overpowering, but that ball moves. Like Tyler was saying, he was spinning it up there.
Yeah, and what was I going to say? The other thing that impressed me about the curveball is he was able to throw it for a strike too. So he was able to use it early in a count to be able to get ahead of hitters. It's not just I'm going to this with 2 strikes. He was able to throw it early in counts, throw it in the zone, but also he hung it a few times. It happens, but just being able to put that in there at the bottom of the jump ahead's going to end up being pretty useful when you're only throwing low 90s.
His curveball averaged 63 inches of vertical drop,
which is also very hard to throw that for a strike whenever.
Yeah, that's pretty insane. So,
yeah, 14%.
Can you look and see how many
average
of them were in the zone?
I'm
going based on eye test.
Yeah, it's let's see here. How many was? I don't know how many were in the zone. I know the swings and misses were not necessarily all in the zone because he was burying it to a couple of left-handed hitters. And he didn't throw it a ton. When he did, though, it was effective. It says he only threw 6 of them.
I don't buy that. I think I watched 6 in like 1 inning.
See, that's the thing too. I think Statcast is a little confused on what he was throwing yesterday. It says he threw like 5 different pitches: cutter, changeup, slider, 4-seam, curveball. But like 3 of the pitches are all right around the same. So I don't know. We need to get some. We need to get somebody on the scene here to ask Miguel Yajure what exactly he throws.
I mean, honestly, looking at this, I can't count because I can't separate it just a curveball. But I'm counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of the 6 in the zone. You said he threw 6, right? So 5. Yeah, to me, it looks like 5 out of 6 was in the zone and was way down. So I don't know what count was.
If he threw 6 in the zone, it was like Jim said, 100% whiff. I don't know how many were swung at, but take it.
Yeah, and what I wanted to add here too. I mean, obviously, eventually results will matter. Obviously, right? So, look at the results here. They weren't positive. Pirates didn't win the game. It was a miss in that sense. But, with the first start as being a prospect, there's definitely things that are very encouraging about this. The stuff that I think that, like you mentioned, Tyler, he hung a couple of curveballs out there. They were hit. Actually, they weren't curveballs, were they? I don't know what they were.
He hung some
Obviously
off-speed
they weren't.
stuff up. I mean,
But yeah, I mean those are mistakes. Now the thing was there's very limited mistakes, and it seemed as if the mistakes that were made were capitalized in a big way. But like this was something that as your first start, I look at this, I'm like, all right, I'm encouraged. You know, like I can't wait to see more of Yahuri this year to see what he builds to, you know, become and such. But you're right. Like the one thing that we've been knocking on, whether it's true or not, but I think there's a lot of evidence behind it with like Mitch Keller is just like he just looks like he pitches timid, you know, like not with conviction, like you're saying. And it seems like it's funny, like the young guys, like Oviedo, we were talking about this with him. Now you're hurry. It's like it's the young guys that come out there look like they've been 10-year vets, you know, just poised and ready to go and attacking these guys.
Yeah, no,
I enjoyed watching him pitch. I mean,
yeah, it was a fun outing.
It's not like watching, say, when Brandon Compton came up and he was doing well. We saw some stuff this time.
Right. It wasn't just a guy.
It wasn't getting encouraged by this guy throwing sinkers and having a 2 ERA because nobody's finding holes right now.
It is. I am interested to see though, like just with the way that the game has shifted. Like, is there? I mean, I guess you can be successful if you don't throw the ball hard, but you do have to have really good command. So that's going to be the one thing to watch with him. Is
or really good off speed.
And I mean, but if you're gonna throw that fastball 89 miles an hour, you need to be throwing it exactly where you want it.
Right.
I think he's got more in the tank than an 89-mile-an-hour fastball, though. I guess time will tell.
Yeah, anything he's going to show it, I guess.
Yeah.
So, yeah, because that was weird. I wasn't expecting it. I was expecting this fastball velocity to be a little bit better than that. But what I saw of the curveball was
last
nice.
year it was at 92.3. Those limited time in action with the Yankees. So
a lot of that in the bullpen as well, though.
I mean,
it was bullpen too. Yeah.
Yeah. I guess we'll find out.
Yeah.
There's a reason they went out and got this dude, and it's not to put him in the bullpen.
And his stuff, yeah, like you said, like it looked good. I mean, if the worst thing is worse, and he's a good bullpen arm, like he's a good bullpen arm. But I guess the other thing too is what we've seen, like a lot of players coming back in these deals have been pitchers, and there's like a lot of upside and things that you like in these pitchers, and like now he's added to the list. Well, we've seen Bednar. I mean, it's short sample. There's question marks, but we talk about curveball. Like his curveballs looked really, really nice too. Yahuri's now next up. You know, like he made his debut, and there's stuff that you're seeing. Are they all going to pan out? They'll be great? Probably not. But I look at this and I'm like, with a Tyone trade, this is another piece that looks like, hey, he could be something a part of this, you know, team and system in the future. So encouraging first start.
And one more thing to add on the fastball. Fangraphs has it as a projected 55 fastball, so you would think he's going to get a little bit of a bump here.
Yeah,
hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, it was his first start, so maybe he was trying to figure it out. But yeah, that in order to play with a 90-mile-an-hour fastball or an 89-mile-an-hour fastball, you're going to need good command. So that's the one thing that I would keep an eye on. But
I was gonna say, where's Kyle Hendricks at?
Definitely interested in seeing more.
All I'm hearing is Tyler can hit a home run off Yahuri. So
not with that curveball. I'm gonna look like an idiot.
Yeah. All right. But so that was definitely an encouraging start. But as yesterday, I mean, they had that doubleheader, unfortunately, or fortunately, I guess however you want to look at it. They played 2 games, 2 7-inning games. The Pirates won the first one, lost the second one, and of course they won the third one today to take the series. Just to say something real quick. All right, now obviously you can't go by series, but if you look at, because they lost the first series by the Cubs, but technically they won the second one. The Pirates don't have a losing record against any team in baseball this year because they split San Diego, they split the Cubs series, right? So you look at that.
Reds.
Oh, my bad. I'm sorry. Yeah. The Reds, that's what I meant to say, I guess, technically. The Reds are the only team they have a losing record against. So if you want some positivity and some encouragement here on this show, there's a little nugget for you. They only have a losing record against the Reds, which, yeah, actually, that's also so far because the Reds have they've been a mystery right now too.
I mean, so far as in, they'll have a winning record against them, so we'll be fine.
Yes, but I'm talking on both ends too, because I don't know if the Reds are like the Reds have looked god awful right now too since this Pirates series. So maybe the next time they face them, that'll change too.
Yeah, I mean this team is. I mean the Tigers are bad, right? I mean that team that we watched this series, the Detroit Tigers, that's not a good team. And they took 2 out of 3 on the road against them. Good pitching performances for the most part out of everybody. And we'll talk about Anderson a bit, I assume, and we'll talk about Keller here as well. But good pitching, which is to be expected off of a team that is as lacking offensively as the Tigers are. So that was good to see. Again, I don't know how long they'll be able to keep this up. But yeah, so far so good. 9-10, lot better than what any of us expected.
Mr. 54 win projection, Jim. What a loser.
You know what they do well? They can keep my attention enough to not turn them off.
That's what I'm saying. Like
Except
this
when
team,
they play the Reds.
right?
Yeah. Those ones got turned off.
Yeah, those ones were bad.
Granted, they're close to 500, so like relatively speaking, I don't want to say they've played good ball. I mean, they've played some bad teams, and the Cubs. I'm not going to say the Cubs are a bad team, but they've certainly probably got them at. I'm going to assume the lowest point of the year. Like I just assume the Cubs aren't going to be as bad as they were the 2 times they played the Pirates, right? But they have it's been a complete different game, right? Different entertainment value than last year. Like last year, the Pirates were just bad and they were just pathetic. And there really was no, you didn't want to watch them. The only reason you did was because you craved baseball because it was gone for so long and you only got 60 games.
Or we had a show right after it and I had to.
Right. It was a job. Now it's entertainment to a degree. Like I can seriously sit down and watch this team and there's stuff to be encouraged about. I mean, even though they probably are going to lose close to 100, whether it's more or less, it's going to be over 90, I'm sure. Okay. Even if with that happening, we're here talking about Colin Moran and how encouraging he is. Like we're talking about Adam Frazier, Brian Reynolds. You're right. There's a lot of pieces on this team that have been eye-opening to a degree that you find entertainment value. You enjoy watching them. As I mentioned, like last year, bases were loaded. There's no outs. It didn't matter who was up. You knew that it was inning ending. It was over, as it always seems to be with Pirates, right? But like this year, if the bases, there's 2 guys on base and Colin Moran's up, you actually get excited. Like Colin Moran's gonna get an RBI here, or hell, Eric Gonzalez right now is gonna get an RBI.
Eric Gonzalez with how many now? 12 RBIs for Eric Gonzalez.
Is Insane. It 12 or is it 13 now?
It's 12.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah. He's got 12 and Moran has 15. That's the Pirates 4-5 hitters right there.
And
driving in runs.
And you're not saying, I mean, to a degree you're saying it facetiously, but they have been producing. They have. And honestly, Jacob Stallings has been producing to a degree for what he needs to be.
Wait.
But he's getting on base.
Eric Gonzalez is on pace for 102 runs batted in this year.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. And I know what you're saying about the batting average,
you don't think
but
that's going to happen?
Stallings is walking the hell right now. I'm going to say the hell out of the baseball, but you can't really walk the hell out of the baseball.
Yeah, his OBP is about 140 points higher than his batting average.
And probably his slugging as well.
His OBP is 53 points higher than his slugging. Yeah. Don't look at his ISO. We won't look at his ISO. That's not good. But no, I mean, Stallings has been getting on base.
Still a 102 way to run.
Hasn't been hitting. There we go.
Hey, I'm doing all this off the eye test. I have not looked at fan graphs lately.
I think
you're getting the true eye test here.
What's making this season more fun too is last year the lineup was just so pitiful.
Yeah.
Everybody in the lineup, top to bottom, was batting in the 100s, And so now you actually see, Frazier's hitting the ball, Reynolds is hitting the ball, Phillip Evans is like a front runner for NL Rookie of the Year right now. Like, I mean, it's insane.
Not Cabrera.
He cooled down a little bit this last week, but hit a home run yesterday.
And then he hit a home run yesterday, and today he robbed a home run.
He did. He
didn't make it out, but he robbed the home run.
He did rob the home run. And then Colin Moran looks like a legit major league hitter up there. And we talked a lot about Moran on Tuesday morning, but I mean he looks good, and it's not like this is like a hot streak. Like he's putting together consistent good at bats every single time out. He just looks good up there at the plate. And he's playing competent first base defense, which we haven't seen in decades.
Say it again.
I think he's playing a little bit more than competent. Just the hair more.
Yeah.
But maybe that's just the fact that we haven't seen competent first base play in so long.
Right.
That could be it.
Yeah, so it's just refreshing to see. Like they're just a more fun team to watch. Like if there's a ground ball to first base, you know that the ball's not going to end up in left field. They're actually putting together competitive at bats instead of just swinging at terrible pitches. Like last year, how many times did Josh Bell come up and just look awful, or Gregory Polanco look awful, or Reynolds just look? I mean, last year it was just awful at bat after awful at bat. It was a rough
90% of the time, everyone just looked awful. It wasn't even close.
And they're putting together better at bats this year, and it's translating into more success.
And on a human element, I feel like this team's more likable than a couple past years. Maybe it's just a bunch of new faces that I don't hate yet.
Yeah, you're not tired of them yet.
That's very possible. Trust me.
Yeah.
But there was a point in time where it was like, God, these guys are kind of annoying. Like, I don't have to go watch Francisco Cervelli whine about every single non-strike or strike against him. I don't have Sean Rodriguez showing up in the lineup and punching Gatorade coolers. Keone Kela threatening to take someone's head off.
See, I was a big fan of Keone Kela.
Same.
Yeah, but
Sean Rodriguez punching.
But eventually,
Gatorade
it's
coolers.
like, God, like you guys are kind of annoying.
I mean, that's
like the most hateable person right now is Polanco, and how can you hate?
I mean, we
that
keep
guy?
you around on the
You just got a
show,
big
so
smile.
clearly that doesn't bother us.
Right. Exactly.
True.
You're the punching Gatorade equivalent.
Yeah, you are the
of the
Gatorade. We just don't have a Sean Rodriguez on the show yet. We'll get one someday.
Punching no Gatorade.
No,
coolers.
you are the Gatorade cooler.
Oh, please. Knock that Gatorade cooler out.
Okay.
Oh, also, the other great part is that they might get a trade chip out of a free agent signing for one point in their entire history.
Let's talk about him next. Like Tyler Anderson, I said it after. I mean, I said the first start was nice. I mean, he did what he's been paid to do. The second start, even though he got babied to death, and I got like a little bit of flack back saying like, hey, listen, you're not going to get one or two runs off of 10 hits in 5 innings. Like, I get that, but he looked like there was encouraging stuff. Like we talked about Yahuri, obviously the results weren't there, but there was things that encouraged me. And that's how I felt with Tyler Anderson. And it's like now as this has progressed, I mean, he looks, as Tyler said, competent defense. I mean, he looks more than a competent pitcher out there right now. Yeah, I know it's still now just 4 starts, but in those 4 starts that we've seen, I mean, he's been better than advertised.
Oh, yeah. Advertised was they'll be out of the rotation in a month.
I mean, when we were talking about spring training, who's going to be in the rotation, especially after the Trevor Cahill, you were just assuming like they're only penciled in because they're going to provide innings, right? Like go back to the whole theory that you need innings. Like they're strictly there because they're getting paid to eat innings, not because they can be productive or good that you're finding that they can get, even be a trade chip. They're just strictly there to just give us innings and be on your way. But as Tyler mentioned, Tyler Anderson showing us that he might be actually like a potential trade chip. He's showing some real value out there on the mound.
Yeah, I think what's been most impressive about Anderson, at least to me, is his fastball. I mean, it's not overpowering by any means, but I don't know if it's just deceptive or what, but he gets some swings and misses off of that fastball. He can locate it. I'm looking at his page here, and the movement on it looks awesome. He's one of his fastball moves almost more than anybody's in the league. So he's pinpointing it, throwing it up in the zone, it looks like, and he's getting swings and misses on that 90-mile-an-hour four-seam fastball.
And which there you go.
He's a 35% whiff rate on his fastball.
And that's the other thing we're getting at. Like, it seems like start and start again. You keep hearing about how many whiffs he had. This is Tyler Anderson we're talking about. But every time you're like, he had 11 whiffs today. He had 13 whiffs today. Like, guys can't see his stuff. Now, friend of the show, Michael McHenry, had his little segment up there, and he showed, and he has that little herky jerky wind up and such, but he shows like the timing of it is he plays with it. Not to the degree of like
Cueto.
Oh yeah, why I don't want to say Edison Volquez. Well, that's way back in the Reds days. Yeah, like it's not like Cueto, where Cueto's just a mess out there, but like the timing is not the same all the time. So he has that little jerk in there, and then like the timing he screws it up, jerk. And so
it
there's like
some perceptiveness. It almost reminds me of Kershaw a little bit. Like, now I'm not comparing Tyler Anderson.
Oh no, you've just done it. You've just done it.
Just the delivery.
But like, how
welcome to
Kershaw's got
where Tyler Anderson is Clayton Kershaw. You fanboys.
Kershaw's got that little hesitation right there in his leg kick, and I feel like that's that's a big part of his success. Is it kind of throws off hitters' timing a lot, and Anderson kind of has like a mini Kershaw leg kick hesitancy to him. And whatever it is,
Charlie Morton, Roy Halladay.
See that?
Yeah, Tyler Anderson.
We got Tyler Anderson as Clayton Kershaw. Nick Gonzalez as Mike Trout. I mean, you guys are just terrible. Just living up to what Mark Madden's status is. These fanboy bloggers.
Last year, Eric Gonzalez was Fernando Tatis Jr.
Eric Gonzalez. Yes. Imagine having Fernando Tatis Jr. or not Eric Gonzalez right now.
Imagine not having Tyler Anderson on your team and having Kershaw instead.
There you go. World Series.
But I think we're getting to a point, like, if Anderson continues pitching at a competent rate, they're not going to get anything great by any stretch. But I think you can look at like a 445 FV player, which is, if they're in the lower levels, that's a very nice return, especially if they're in it. Like, I'm not talking a 45 AAA player like a Neil Huntington trade, but a lot of the guys that Ben Sherrington's gone after, like a Hudson Head, like a guy like that.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you look and see like what Jordan Lyles got the Pirates 2 years ago.
Actually,
right? I mean, Jordan, Lyles got Cody Ponce back.
Yeah, he was like 40 FV.
Ponce was 40, but he was the Brewers' number 14 prospect. So he was at least not just a guy, right? He was actually a legit prospect. So,
and then I also looked at Tanner Roark, who got a 45. But I forget who he got back, but Jameson something. So it's out there. They can get a like recently drafted, maybe 45 future value kind of guy.
I agree. Yeah, I mean, if Anderson can keep this up and prove that he is,
or close to it,
or just prove that he can be like a fourth or fifth starter on a competitive team down the playoff stretch. Yeah, he 100% could get a 45 value prospect, which the Pirates are so deep right now. A 45 future value prospect, probably not even in the Pirates top 20, but you're looking at a top 20 prospect for most teams.
Right. And like, okay, so cynical made to an extent, and this is why we talk about arms and such, like this is why I feel like their value could be bumped even further. Don't know what's going to happen, but again, like think about, we're in a time that's never happened in Major League Baseball. We're coming off a season that had just 60 games, no minor league system. I'm not saying you're seeing a rash of injuries right now. It's still young in the season. I'm not even going to compare, but we don't know who's going to like get hit hard as far as pitching goes. I mean, so far early on the season, it's ironically San Diego again, but
right.
Like think about that. Like, I mean, Tyler Anderson is showing and proving he could be a capable 4 or 5 starter. And if that continues, like what Tyler said is true, But think about if the need for pitching is so, intense at that point in time, that value just goes up more because there's going to be more teams that need a Tyler Anderson. Like you're going to have to get through the rest of the season. And, the Padres might be already out of first place. Like they call it a day. They're fighting for a wild card today. But like think about teams that are, you still have 2 months left. You're fighting for the division title, Tyler Anderson can be very, very productive and capable. Like think about obviously like the Pirates, back in the days when they never got the division because of the Cardinals. Like that could be the difference. You're not playing a wild card, you're playing a series. So if there's teams that are just getting hit hard, the Yankees might be one too. Like that, there's even more value there. I mean, you're gonna have teams fighting for a Tyler Anderson.
Hopefully.
Yeah, we should all really be rooting that we keep seeing.
It's sad. I don't want to root for injuries.
Tyler Anderson. Well, no, I don't want to root for injuries.
I'm hoping a bunch of starting pitchers get the zipper.
Like I don't want to, but I do fear that this year. That's I want to get. I don't want this misconstrued. I'm not hoping for injuries, but I do fear injuries will happen this year, and I could be completely wrong.
Well, injuries are going to happen every year, but I think more than anything, just if Anderson establishes himself as someone who can be a fourth or fifth starter on a contending team, then you're going to have people who are looking for him regardless. There's not a lot of teams out there that, starting pitching wise 1 through 5, is probably like super happy with what they've got, unless you're the Dodgers. But other teams, yeah, I mean, every other team.
That's the other thing. The Dodgers are hoarding them, so there's more needs for pitchers.
Yeah. I mean, so every other team out there, wishes they had a reliable fourth or fifth starter. Most teams don't.
J.A. Happ got Adrian Sampson, and who was a relevant prospect at that point. And J.A. Happ was awful when they traded for him.
It reversed. Sampson became awful, and Happ was really good. But at that time, like you're saying, yeah, that's true.
But to take it full circle here, don't give me an Adrian Sampson. Give me a guy what's his face that they got with Will Crow. That guy. I'm blanking on his name right now.
Why am I blanking? Oh yeah, Eddie Yeen.
Enzi. Yeah, him. Yeah. Yeen. Yeah, give me one of them.
I mean, speaking of pitchers with good returns at deadlines, I mean, look what Chris Archer got. I won't bring it up anymore.
Don't include no short 9.
I hate you, Jim. I hate you. All right, I'm back.
John Heyman right here. Just your daily reminder of the trade.
Thanks a lot.
I was going to go down and get another drink.
Boo this man. This one's for Ethan. This is where Ethan I'm allowed to boo Jim right now. I don't care what you say about booing. Ethan, I know you're listening at some point. I'm booing Jim, and he deserves it, and you should boo him too.
You know what? Also, Ethan, I know you don't like when we judge people's mentals. I'm judging that man's.
So anyways, now we got to move past Chris Archer. Yeah, so with Tyler Anderson, certainly have been impressed so far with what he's done. Who's next on the list? Do we want to get back to Adam Frazier again? I mean,
let's just stick with pitching. We could just stick with pitching and go to Keller.
Okay.
We can get to Frazier. Yeah, I mean,
it happened.
Mitch Keller, we talked about 2 starts ago. The guy just needed to have success, and he had success, right? Then he follows that up with the complete dud of a game, his last time out. And then today he goes out there, and again, his stuff wasn't great. Like his command wasn't all there today, but what impressed me today was he was attacking, right? 5 innings, 5 hits, home run given up. But 5 strikeouts and 0 walks. Like the guy was throwing strikes. He was throwing his stuff in the zone. He was saying, here's my stuff. Come hit it. One person was able to hit it. Jacoby Jones, was able to tie it up with a home run.
When will it end?
How is that guy still in the league?
Always with the
Jacoby
Tigers,
Jones
so.
and Robbie Grossman back to back.
Robbie Grossman
So
deserves
Robbie
to be in the
Grossman
league.
is an anomaly. Like that guy just continues to stay relevant to a degree. Like just stay on.
That guy
Major League
has
teams.
Yeah.
walked his way into roster spots in his entire life
He just keeps getting jobs. Like
because all he does is walk.
does he even
just
do that
always
like effectively?
consistently not bad enough to not get cut, but not good enough to, you know what I mean? Like he's just bound, like he'll just be on a major league team for like the rest of his career. He'll have a good, solid career where he looks back. He's like Neil Walker. He'll be retiring with like 12 seasons under his belt and like a 2.3 WAR.
He kind of reminds, like he was in that same prospect class too, like around the same time as like Brock Holt. Like Brock Holt's the same way. Like Brock Holt couldn't even make the 2009 Pittsburgh Pirates, yet he's had like a 10-year career for the Boston Red Sox and won 2 World Series.
Right. Yeah, that's a really
I
good
know
point.
you said we're going to end up talking about someone for 20 minutes earlier.
There it
Do
is.
you know what Robbie Grossman's walk rate is this year?
It's 18
now.
Now I do.
18 point. His career walk rate is over 12.
Yeah, I just pulled it up. That's pretty good.
He is John Jaso reincarnated.
Yeah, that's a good call.
It's a good comparison.
And he doesn't strike out much now.
Well, like he's Matt Joyce without being able to hit.
Yeah. But he just gets on base. That's all he does.
Yeah, and right now his
And
career
he's
WAR is
not a good
5.1,
baseball player.
just to put out there.
And I don't know
Dude,
how he
he's
gets
got
on
a-
base.
He had a career on base percentage of 351.
He is. He's
Like at some
he's John
point
Jason.
with a guy like Robbie Grossman, don't you think, let me just throw him a fastball middle because he's not going to hit it. The only way he gets on is if he walks.
He had 8 home runs last year
Woo.
in 30.
Yeah, but I mean that was kind of a
51 games?
I guess.
I mean his ISO last year was a 241. His career it's a 127. So
Yeah.
I've been
No,
on a top spot before in fantasy
that's
baseball.
crazy.
Picked him up.
I did not realize he was that good at getting on base. I'm actually really shocked. I was like, honestly, I had no idea why Robbie Grossman has had a
Oh, trust me, I
9-year Major
followed
League
Robbie
career.
Grossman very closely.
is that your boy Tyler?
Robbie Grossman, Colton
Ever
Kane, and
since
who was the other guy?
Wander.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of the other. Wandy.
Wander. Yeah, I wish Wander.
Yeah.
Who was it? Robbie Grossman, Colton Kane, and someone else?
Tyler.
No,
No. Who was the
he's
Lefty.
triple A.
who
He
was the minor league
stunk.
pitcher of the year in like
Yeah,
2011?
he stunk. All right, I'm sorry, I took us off track. Go ahead.
Don't worry, I have it here. It's Rudy Owens.
Rudy Owens.
Yes, that
Yep,
was the
that's
other
it.
one.
All right. There was a trivia question of the night. Continue.
Who would have thought that of that
Oh, so-
trade, Robbie Grossman would like be the biggest piece out of that?
The g-
I mean, he
back
was
in the day, the
he
guy
was a
that
legit
everyone
prospect.
thought struck out
No,
too
I'm not
much.
saying, but I'm saying like
Yeah.
Wandy was pretty like pretty good too, right? I mean, the Pirates traded for Wandy. You get Wandy over here. He had a pretty decent
Yeah.
track record with Houston, and like he
Then he was
just
terrible.
tanked and sucked. And like Robbie Grossman's still going. Rudy Owens nowhere. Wandy's been gone for how many years? Robbie Grossman still trekking.
Yeah, he's still going.
Now I want to look up what Alex Dickerson's doing.
Okay, guys, we got to move off of Robbie Anderson. Like Robbie Grossman.
Yeah, so we
said it's going
we
to
were
be
trying to talk about Mitch Keller. We were
Yes.
trying to talk about Mitch Keller, and now we're going down a Robbie Grossman rabbit hole.
we've just lost.
But
all
no,
listeners.
let's go back to Keller. So back to Keller today, right? Completely different. He attacked hitters, which he didn't do his last time out. He was able to, like I said, the command wasn't necessarily there, which was similar to last outing too. That last outing, his command wasn't there either. But this time, even though the stuff, he wasn't putting it exactly where he wanted, he was still attacking. He was still throwing strikes, and it worked. It was an effective start. 5 innings, 2 runs. I'll take that. It's not, it's not the dominant start we want to see Keller eventually be putting up
Right.
time after time, but it was a good start. A lot better than his last outing, and he was showing signs of what we want to see, which is just him being more aggressive and attacking hitters.
And like you think about it, like you mentioned, Jim, he had terrible starts. Then you felt Chicago, he might build something off of it. So the start after that, he looked completely lost again. He's back to his old ways. Seemed like he lost all momentum. So it's like, what are you really getting? So far, we've had really bad, good, bad. And I'll consider this good because it's been better. I mean, this is what we want to see more of. So it's a mixed bag of balls right now out of him. We've seen some good stuff. We've some bad stuff, but still very, very inconsistent. This is why there's still potential, Mitch Keller. He's got to figure out. We got to have consistency with him. But yes, like today's start, I was at least encouraged because a lot of the bad stuff, the issues he had, was gone. Was he on it today? Like, did he look really, really good? No, but his issues weren't really haunting him today, so that was good. Now, what's next start going to be?
Yeah, talk to me after the next start, and then I might.
Right, because again, too, it was the Tigers,
right.
So maybe he felt like he had a little swagger today. I mean, it is the Tigers. I should beat up on him. But if he goes and
but that's the thing, like he needs to do that every time out. Like he needs to go out there. Like maybe that was maybe today he went out there knowing, hey, I'm facing the Tigers. I'm better than these guys. I can get these guys out with just my stuff. He just needs to do that every time, regardless of who he's facing.
Yeah, until I see him have a mentality that I'm gonna throw everything I got with conviction. I'm going to go at these dudes and hit it. You go ahead. I'm still going to be. We'll see.
And his next time up,
he definitely
might
needs
be
to be more consistent.
The Royals. So just as an FYI.
Yeah. Well, you never know. Today, that's the one thing. If he has a few good innings, you feel like the ball starts to roll a little bit. Confidence starts to get gained. If it's one bad inning, if the first inning's the bad inning, it's a bad outing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
that's Mitch Keller. All right. So can we talk about Adam Frazier now?
I mean, what more is there to say about him anymore?
Can I talk about my boy Adam
We
Frazier?
need more.
We can talk about your boy, Adam Frazier.
Adam Frazier,
hey, Jim,
damn it.
Jim, question. Real quick, Jim, question. Did you know that Kayla was our host?
What?
Did you know that Kayla was our new host? I didn't know Kayla May took over the show.
Yes. I don't care.
Adam Frazier.
No, for real though.
Right, right after this, we'll go on to Cole Tucker, guys.
Adam Frazier, I felt like I was close to being done with because even like in spring training, he looked at times just awful. Defensively, he started this year looking awful defensively, but that bat has like really picked up. I haven't seen too many major miscues from him defensively, but Adam Frazier, man. We talked about how pathetic everyone looked last year, and Adam Frazier was one of it. And, rumor was with John Heyman that Adam Frazier was in all kinds of trade talks, and he was a hot commodity, and we saw he didn't move. And it's like, did Charrington miss the boat again on this? He hung on to Adam Frazier, and Adam Frazier is showing that. He's probably better than anyone in the Yankees lineup right now. Not that says too much, but Yankees, listen up. Adam Frazier looks good. He looks legit. What is it, a 13-game on-base streak? I think, yesterday's one game he didn't, or else it'll be a 13-game hit streak for him too. Adam Frazier can hit, baby. He's back. And he's doing it in April, which is something he doesn't do. So it's only going to get better.
Adam Frazier.
Huh?
You know what I love about Adam Frazier?
That he's about to be another team's player, which means we're about to get some prospects.
That's a good part. But in a world of everyone just hitting bombs, this guy don't give a shit. He's just going to be a slap hitter all day.
But I'm just going to hit bloopers
everywhere.
Unlike Kevin Newman.
But really, that's all he does. I'm just going to barrel here, and to the outfield. Thank you. Single, single, single. We're good.
Yes.
I love it. In the grand scheme of things, all you got to do is bring your infield in. The guy has no power, but
Yeah,
or your outfield in, I should say.
I'm still like super skeptical about
Stop.
this start.
Nope.
Like
nope.
I like
no.
it, but playing devil's advocate here, he's in the 6th percentile in average exit velocity. He's in the
It's Adam Frazier.
He's in the 2nd percentile in hard hit percentage.
Yeah,
He has
Adam Frazier.
He has 0 barrels this year.
Adam Frazier.
Listen, if Tyler Anderson can beat Clayton Kershaw, if Nick Gonzalez can be Mike Gonzalez, Adam Frazier is Tony Gwynn. I don't want to hear any different. Adam Frazier has a 7% K rate.
7% K rate's nice. The K rate and the whiff rate are nice. He's putting the ball in play, and right now he's getting his BABIP is very nice.
I was going to call him Ichiro.
It's not totally egregious. It's not like he has a 450 BABIP. It's a 350, which is a career. It's a 304. I mean,
so it's better than normal.
It'll be better than that. It's fine.
And here's the thing with Frazier is if this is what he's going to do, right? This is fine if this continues. But if he's going to just provide absolutely no power whatsoever,
he's not.
Then he better be hitting 330. Like,
love it.
I said, I'm fine with it right now. It's working. I don't know I don't know how it will continue. I guess we'll see.
Because he's Ichiro.
He's actually hitting the ball.
Oh, so he's a Hall of Famer. I like it.
He hit the ball harder last year.
Yeah, and he figured out that didn't work.
And
I'm gonna hit it I'm gonna hit it on the knob. I'm gonna hit it on the bat.
Last year he had a 661 OPS. He was terrible last year, and he's now hitting the ball less hard.
Yeah. Duh.
All right. So I want to say something too,
maybe
because
you're the problem here, where you think you have to get a barrel to get a base hit. Yeah,
that's
nerd.
Not what I'm saying. Not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is it does help. It does help when you hit the ball hard. You
sure don't.
If Adam Frazier was hitting the ball hard right now, he'd be Fernando Tatis Jr. batting 121 with 7 or 8 errors on the year.
Go ahead and scroll down that BABIP list and exit velocity, and let me know what it looks like whenever you're hitting like 70 miles an hour. Probably says like 280.
What?
I don't know either. I was waiting for your response, Jim.
If you look down the list of exit velocity,
what list is this?
There is a list of exit velocity, and there's like a weird gap.
There can't be an actual player who's.
But if you hit it a certain mile per hour.
Oh yeah, like if you hit the ball perfectly, that it's gonna just land over the shortstop's head every time. Yeah, you're gonna get a hit. But
exactly, and Adam Frazier figured that out.
I don't think
he's got precision hitting.
You can just.
He has been using the speed hitter, and it's been working to perfection. So I don't want to hear it. That's why his K rate and his walk rate is completely inverse this year. He's a lifetime 7.8 walk rate and a lifetime 13.4% K rate. However, this year it is at 11 walk rate and 7.3 K rate. So he makes contact all the time, right?
Yep.
Like it's funny though. I get what you're saying, Jim, because when I was tweeting out all the stats, and I kind of harped on Newman because he was dead last in exit velocity. Oh, sorry, he's dead last in launch angle, and I think he said 4th or 5th to last in exit velocity. It's not good. It's why he's not hitting well. He's hitting everything into the dirt and not hard, so it like barely reaches the infielder. You know, like Adam Frazier's not doing well there either, but he's making contact a lot.
Adam Frazier's doing the exact same thing.
It's
as Kevin Newman. He's just putting it in the air.
That's the difference. Yes. So I'm saying like that's the difference. To me, like what Kevin Newman was doing in spring training was why I was buying more into not that he's going to bat 700, but why he might be able to hit for average. Because at least Kevin Newman wasn't hitting the ball hard, but he was driving it. It was finding gaps, is going weakly and bloopily into the outfield, right? Where he was getting on base. That is what Adam Frazier is doing right now. So it's like, if I could believe in Kevin Newman spring training, that part of it and why that can find success, that is what Adam Frazier is doing right now. So why can't I feel that Adam Frazier can't sustain this success if this continues? Because also Adam Frazier can hit, so that is a tool. It's not like he's coming out of nowhere.
To throw it out, the stat I was talking about earlier is from 2016, whatever. On exit velocity of 65 to 69 miles per hour, 264. 70 to 74, 262. And then 75 to 79 is only 234. Adam Frazier has figured out how to do this because he's at a launch angle. So he bloops it at 65 to 74 miles an hour. And it's going to be like a 311 batting average. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
That's my TED Talk.
Speed hitter.
He's Juan Pierre reincarnated.
There it is. We were talking about Kevin Newman last week in Juan Pierre, right? That's Adam Frazier is everything we wanted Kevin Newman to be. Adam Frazier is Kevin Newman's ceiling right now. But that's just him. That's Adam. That's it. So he's not going to have the power, but you're going to have a guy who's going to get 300, get on base at 360 clip. He's going to he's at the top of your lineup.
400
and he's
400 slugging.
A Gold Glove candidate at second base, man. Come on. Get him in Yankee Stadium right now.
Short porch, lefty. If he runs into one.
Right. One.
We already established that he can't run into one.
He's going to forget one time and he's going to hit a home run.
Yeah.
But then he'll be reminded to never do that again.
No, so the approach that he's doing right now, it's working. He's doing exactly what you guys are saying. He's going opposite field and he's really just blooping balls over the shortstop's head. Like that's literally what he's doing every time. You look at his spray chart, his hit chart, like all of his hits are either right down the left field line, like little bloops, or landing right in front of the left fielder.
And think about what last year was. How many times did he ground out to the second baseman last year? It was like literally every single time.
He is playing 3D chess right now because they're not going to come up on him because he showed that power like 2 years ago, 3 years ago, whatever year it was, where he hit over 10 homers. They can't move up on him because what if he goes opposite field over their head? What do you have to say about that, Jim?
Jimbo.
We'll see. We'll see. I hope he can continue this. I'm a little skeptical just because the batted ball data isn't great.
Oh, data. Dork.
You know, I find it way more pleasurable when Tyler and I gang up on Jim opposed to when Jim and I gang up on Tyler. So I'm going to use this I'm going to keep this in my back pocket.
Keep doing it. Yeah.
Jim probably hated Tony Womack too.
Oh God, Tony Womack. Can this show get any worse?
Tony Womack was actually good.
Oh, weird. Guess who has a higher weighted runs created plus?
Who?
Well, stolen bases don't factor into weighted runs created plus. So every time Tony Womack got on base, it was basically a double.
Oh, weird. Didn't do that often. Who know who does? Adam Frazier.
Something I want to look into though, actually, now that you brought that up, because, and this is just eye test, like what I'm seeing so far. But I mean, we talk about Adam Frazier's doing it. Like last year, when you think about Adam Frazier, I think like the marquee Adam Frazier moment was a ground out to second base, right? I really want to look at this now. Is this team? It just seems like they're hitting away constantly. This team, like everyone that can hit, right? Everyone that has a potential of putting a ball in play, which doesn't count our 7, 8, 9 hitters. Like everyone seems like they're really using the entire field.
Oh, hold on. Did you just say 7, 8, 9 hitters? Who hits 8 or 7?
Huh?
Who hits 7?
Gregory Polanco. Which actually, he's even put some.
I was going to say Kevin Stallings, but okay.
See, you said Kevin Stallings now. Yes, not just me.
Oh, yeah, that's his name. Jacob.
So all three of us have called him Kevin now.
Yes.
Oh, I've called him Kevin a lot.
We've probably called him Kevin more than Jacob. We're swinging away on Jacob and calling him Kevin.
Just like my guy Adam Frazier.
But I feel like this entire team, when we talk about approach, we talk about everything. Like, I feel like this entire team is really, really like just spraying the ball around. Like Colin Moran, I mean, my God. And can we also talk about his bunt he put down yesterday? It was yesterday, right?
Yeah, love it. Hey, if they're gonna give you that whole left side, try it. Like
The fact that
I'm all for it.
did it, that pumped me up. I don't know why. I was so excited for him and everything. Like, Colin Moran just looks like such a different player. And I feel like confidence is just now just coming all out of his pores. I mean, for Christ's sake, the man's smiling now.
The guy is smiling on a consistent basis. That's how
That's
confident
it,
he is.
Tyler. There it is. This guy just feels like he belongs now too.
I do like that. It's like they're taking an old school approach of, all right, screw the pool happy hitters. We're gonna adjust and just go oppo. We're going back 1980s. We're gonna put the ball in play and call it a day.
And I'm loving it. And
We put enough balls in play. The bat. I mean, you put enough balls in play. The BABIP's going to work in your favor at some point.
And honestly, too,
Maybe
in the
not so much
day
with Tom
of
Moran,
shifting and things like that, like with shifts, if you can just learn to beat shifts, like maybe that's where the game's headed now. Is hey, instead of just trying to hit over everybody, we're just gonna hit it where you're not. It's working so far. There's a few people who obviously it's working for. There's some people who it's not. But
breaking news on North Shore 9. Are the Pirates bucking the trend here and going back to old school baseball, going oppo taco rather than trying to be pool happy?
Yeah, I mean, I think they're
Are
doing
the Pirates saving the game of baseball by putting balls in play?
The Pirates are saving baseball.
More.
That's the headline.
Are the Pirates saving baseball?
I think it's more to do with they aren't capable of hitting the ball over the fence, so they're like,
no.
I
think they're purely focused on saving baseball.
Okay. That's probably about right.
Ben Cherington.
That's why they have Adam Frazier still.
Baseball, not the Pittsburgh franchise. He saved baseball.
No. Baseball. Yep. DK Pittsburgh sports.
Yes.
That's the next headline. Pirates save baseball.
Oh.
Below.
It's not about the other Frazier.
Insults owner.
No, it's not the other Frazier. Speaking of Fraziers, do you want to bring that up?
I am so good at segues.
Guys, okay. Let me preference this here. I guess so everyone knows. Obviously, in some of the transactions that happened today, one of them was Todd Frazier got put on the Major League Baseball team in Pittsburgh. Todd Frazier is now part of the North Shore 9. Okay.
DK is too.
I agree with DK. We've talked about this here. DK has as well. That's probably one of the things we have in common. How many times did we say, like, I don't understand the outrage of Todd Frazier not being on this club? Like, does it really matter? I mean, he's an aging person. He's going to just split time. He's on the opposite side of the platoon. Like, Todd Frazier being here or not didn't seem like to be that much of a bother. So when Pittsburgh blew up about it, we all kind of were like the same thing. Like, who really cares? Well, Todd Frazier's now here. And I'm sure if you're listening to this, you probably know what we're talking about. But Todd Frazier made a tweet. I don't have the tweet. I should have brought it up. But more or less, he called DK Honey Dijon. And so he was basically pounding his chest because, like, hey, look at me here on the Major League Club when you said I couldn't. So, I mean, I'm here for the entertainment value, obviously. I mean, this is entertaining. I'm ready to watch it, but let's kind of like put this in perspective. Is Todd Frazier really pounding his chest because he went 0 for 4 today? Like, if anything, let's be honest, if anything, didn't he really kind of just more or less prove the point that we were making? I could see if he hit he hit a home run today, you know? I mean, the Pirates won. Didn't have to be the game-winning home run, but maybe he hit a home run today. He's like, look, I belong here. You know, I'm the third baseman. Play me. Shut your mouth. The guy went 0 for 4. What are you doing? what are we doing here, guys? What is this?
Playing devil's advocate, I'm all for my players having chips on their shoulder, whether they need to, make something up or whatever it is. Todd Frazier felt like he was slighted, and he took note of that, and now he's on the major league team, and he decided to say something about it. I'm completely fine with him, saying that, I don't know about the personal insults or anything, but I'm totally fine with him basically saying, hey, I'm here, I've made it. I don't care if he went 0 for 4 or whatever, but I'm cool with him having a chip on his shoulder.
I just saw the coolest highlight of all time that I just retweeted.
Okay.
You guys need to grab your phones here in a second, but Todd Frazier, that's the thing right now. Yeah. I appreciate anyone that goes to DK, but also it sucks when you agree with them because, like DK said, Phillip Evans has shown he was way worth keeping.
Sure.
And there's no reason not to. I am a little bit excited to see Todd Frazier since we have the Brian Hayes news. It stinks, but it's all going to work out in the end, but it also...
Here.
Yeah. And I don't know. I just like when people go at DK. Let me have this. I don't care who it is. Just let it happen. Why are we complaining?
I get
no, but I mean, to both people's points, DK was obviously right. Phillip Evans deserved the roster spot over Todd Frazier, and he has proven that over the first 3 weeks of the season. But again, I'm completely fine with my players having chips on their shoulders and going out to prove people wrong. So I'm cool
but what
with both
did you
sides
just
of this.
do? Okay, so I get the whole I want a chip on my shoulder too. How many times have I said when Kutch was out there in center field and he said, "This is my effing spot"? I mean, when a lot of people in Pittsburgh got turned off by that hyped me up because Kutch wants it good. But you couldn't make the Pirates roster in the year of 2021. You finally do after Wilmer Defoe made it before you. After Castillo made it before you. You finally get your shot and you go 0 for 4 and now's the time where you want to do that. Maybe tomorrow he gets a hit. Okay, now tomorrow you finally get a hit and now you say it. You can still have that chip on your shoulder without also kind of making you look like a fool. I mean, we did this after 0 4. Again, here, Todd Frazier went 0 for 4, and we saw this. This is Todd Frazier after going 0 for 4.
Yeah, but still.
Who do you think you are? I am. Get it right.
0 for 4. And that's what Todd Frazier did. That's how Todd Frazier comes off an 0 for 4 performance. What is he really dunking on here? He went 0 for 4. He proved what everything was said about him to be correct so far. And he used this opportunity to say, F you guys, look at me. I went 0 for 4 today.
It doesn't sound great when you put it that way.
He didn't say that. He said that he's on the major league team. He's on the team.
He didn't tweet it. I'm sure he said it.
And I'm on the major league team because no one else wanted to give me money.
Right.
He basically took his participation trophy. I participated in this game. F you guys.
I'm fine with it. And also, it's
Jake Paul knocked him out in 13 seconds. And he's saying, look at me, guys. F you. I was in that ring.
I'm fine with some heat. I'm fine with the heat.
Yeah, I don't care.
Oh, I'm here for the heat. But
I'm going to be honest.
Honestly, and this is coming from me.
I'm excited
I think he looks
to watch Todd Frazier
in this situation.
Yeah, but he does. But I'm excited to watch Todd Frazier.
Yeah, I'm not. I have no excitement to watch Todd Frazier.
I do.
Any bit, whatsoever.
I am. I don't know why I am.
I'm not going to say I'm excited, but I'm okay with it. I mean, at this point in time,
I'm okay with it.
I was never, okay, if he made the club, I wasn't going to be in an uproar. If he didn't make the club, I wasn't going to be in an uproar. I think he was battling for one of the last spots. It went to Thrillup Evans, and Thrillup is proving that he belongs. So the correct move was made. If you wanted to say that he should have been here before Defoe, there's an argument, right? So he's here now. I'm cool with it. Let's see what he has. But come on, bro. Don't pound your chest after going 0 for 4. I mean, you want to talk about people, being where they like acting like they belong here. They've been there before. I mean, you're a vet. You went 0 for 4 and you're pumping and pounding your chest. Chill, bro.
Maybe I think I'm just a little partial because that mic'd up thing of him I enjoyed very much.
Oh, for sure.
So I think that's probably why I'm excited for him.
I don't hate Todd Frazier by any means. I think he's a likable guy.
I don't either, but
I think he's a good dude. I enjoy Todd Frazier,
watching that,
the person.
Man, I just wish we could get more mic'd up.
We got Mike Trout.
I just want to hear more dudes talk hitting.
No, hold on.
It's so
First off,
fun.
hold on. Before you go there, Tyler, this Pirates team also, the Pirates team that you say you hated, I'd be cool with almost any one of those mic'd up. Let's hear Cervelli mic'd up. Let's hear Sean Rodriguez mic'd up. You know who I don't want to hear mic'd up? Adam Frazier, Phillip Evans.
No.
Are these the worst
Adam Frazier
interviews that you've ever witnessed?
No. I want to hear a true Adam Frazier of what am I looking for up here? I want something I can bloop over third base.
You know what he's going to say? That one. That's what you're going to hear. That. What did you like about that pitch? It was good.
I don't know.
The post-game interviews have been just absolutely dreadful.
This team has zero personality. Just zero. I don't know. I guess maybe that's why they're playing bad. Maybe that's the thing. Maybe everyone's right. Maybe we need less TikTok
dances. At least they don't have to hear
dances.
that stupid Tiger song after every game anymore.
See, give me that. This team wouldn't do that.
Yeah, you want Felipe back? Weird.
I'm not saying I want Felipe back, but I'll take
who's the ringleader of that one?
Well, Crick ended that, and now we have Crick. So
he's kind of a douchebag too.
Exactly. So give us more Tiger.
What was that freaking song's name? I don't know. Anyhow,
I have it on a playlist.
I did too at one point.
I don't know. I forget.
I don't know either.
Where's the Pittsburgh Clothing Company? They got it on a shirt. All right. Anyways, where are we at now? Adam Frazier's the GOAT. Todd Frazier, not so much yet, at least.
Yeah,
we'll see.
I mean, Todd Frazier's fine. Again, we're spending a lot of time talking about a guy.
This isn't a Todd Frazier slight either, but Jesus, I mean, come on, Jim. Everyone's just fine. Everyone's fine. This team's gonna win 54 games. Everyone's fine.
He's a guy. He wasn't even good enough to make this team. He's literally just a guy.
Wow.
I'm not excited. Tyler says he's excited to watch Todd Frazier. I kind of zoned out after that because I'm not excited at all.
Well, you also aren't excited to watch Blue Pits by Adam Frazier.
So. I said I'm super enjoying Adam Frazier right now. I'm a little hesitant on if he can sustain it.
Your enthusiasm is lacking.
That is completely fair. And that's why they should need to trade him like ASAP.
Nope. He's gonna keep blooping all day.
Well, let's just insurance to be safe. We'll package him with Tyler Anderson.
Majors by doing nothing.
We'll package him with Tyler Anderson, and we'll get Wander Franco.
What if we just extend everybody? Let's extend Frazier along with Maria.
Let's not.
Here we go.
But if he's this great hitter, why wouldn't you? How could you possibly?
The decline might come. He's 29.
How could you possibly get a prospect in return that's going to end up being as good as Adam Frazier?
I mean, you're not.
Well, I mean,
again, you're trading Tony Gwynn.
If you had a Galaxy brain like myself, you would realize that the Pirates will not be competitive while Adam Frazier is clearly in his peak. And right now is his peak. Will it last another week? Possibly.
Well, if he's Tony Gwynn, his peak lasted another 10 years.
Yeah, but Tony Gwynn was also chewing tobacco, so
I was gonna say he doesn't
Adam
have
Frazier
the,
does too. Adam Frazier definitely does too.
I don't know.
Adam Frazier goes in there and he's got a big old dip in his mouth.
He's not Jason Kendall.
He's no one's Jason Kendall, but he's
That
close.
dude had a packer in there. Miss him.
all right.
We need to get him on.
All right, guys. So how we feel here?
Yeah.
The Pirates, I guess
9-10, baby.
after these 19 games, anything swaying what our preseason outlook was on the year overall. We still stick in Tyler and I, we still stick at 61. Jim still 54.
Oh yeah. The only thing that I've been kicking myself over is Bednar. And that stupid over under I gave Jim.
I hate
but-
every one of my over unders. Like I think all of ours were just terrible.
Were there any over unders with Alford?
Yeah, I gave you one for like 0.8 WAR. I think you've clearly won that.
I think
You're
I
like,
won
I don't
that
know if he's gonna have positive WAR, and I'm like, he clearly didn't.
I think if you would have put 0.0, I would have taken the under.
I'm like, come on, Jim. After a whole season, hell, the guy didn't even make 15 games.
I just can't believe that 3 weeks into the year and both Fowler and Alford are both
I
gone.
know, right? And we just had this conversation Wednesday, I feel, or at least last North Shore 9 Live, about how like you got to give them till April, right? And they didn't make it a week. They're both gone.
Yeah.
And on top of that,
Ridiculous.
Goodwin still ain't here.
Right. I'm actually kind of surprised that
there's those
Frazier was
apples.
called up and Goodwin wasn't.
Yeah, I look at the center field. Well, I guess it's because of Tom. We didn't really talk about Tom too much.
We didn't talk about him.
Tom will be
I don't know
making.
Much to talk about.
I don't know if there's much to talk about.
Yeah, I mean,
He's
I was going
not
to say,
good
like
either.
theoretically, Reynolds played center field right now. I guess Tom would give them the other center field option. He's really like the only true center fielder, though, because I'm not going to go ahead and call Reynolds a center fielder.
He's
What's
literally the
interesting-
same height as me almost.
What's interesting is that he actually has now replaced Dustin Fowler twice this year.
Wow, you're right. Didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
Wow, he is not getting a Christmas card this year from Dustin Fowler.
Dustin Fowler, not a fan. I'm sure.
Dustin Fowler just burned all his Tom shoes. He's like, screw that charities, screw all the people helping buy them. It's Nikes now.
Yeah. So another Rule 5 pick for the Pirates. We'll see if this one is a lot less interesting than Oviedo or Soriano. So we'll see what they do. Yeah.
As you point
that's
out,
about
Jim,
it.
this will be 3 Rule 5 draft picks on this team. First
3
time
Rule
since San
5 draft
Diego in
picks.
17. I mean, that
San
tells
Diego,
you,
and that's what I learned today too. The San Diego was able to keep all 3 of those guys. So
yep.
All 3 of them suck too.
pretty, yeah, none of them turned into anything. But
So I guess part of that is like, let's talk about that for a degree. I mean, we have 3 Rule 5 draft picks on this team for, I guess, to put it in perspective, for the people that are like, this team can be good. There's 3 Rule 5 draft players on this club.
They also they could quickly have 4. Shea, whatever his name is, the reliever. They took in the AAA phase. He could be up decently soon as well.
So there you go. Wow. So
I can't
yeah.
even,
So like,
I
this
can't even think of
team-
his last name.
like the way I just put this team, it's like the epitome of stars and scrubs, except it's not stars and scrubs. It's like average Joes and scrubs. You know, like there's no, there, you know, like there's like the Morans, the Fraziers, like we're talking about how good they are, but they're still good. Just be a starter. You know, it's not like they're all
Pirates
stars.
good.
Right. You know, it seems like there's a big drastic drop off too from like the good players, which are Pirate good. And then it just gets to like really, really bad. You know, like I said, now you're getting to the Alfords and the Fowlers and they're just getting
Toms.
DFA'd for other Rule 5 guys, and yeah.
The
So
Toms,
Yeah, no, it's there are some there's definitely some interesting people on this team that is like allowing us to enjoy the team, but then there are some people out there who you really don't want to see. You know, Alfred and Fowler were two of those guys, so now they're gone. So
for now,
you know what?
what's
It's
next? Yeah.
it's
For
a
now.
step closer to seeing my guy Swaggerty.
yeah, another over under, which I
That's
think
right.
you guys, yeah, I might have been foolish in saying I don't see Swagger up here now, but he might be here next month. Hell,
I made the bold prediction that he was the second best WAR on of all their outfielders. So that one might not be true with Evans.
I was gonna say, I guess it depends where Evans like lines up, like what his main position will be, if he had, you know what I mean. But you're right. I mean,
Right.
Reynolds is clearly a better player this year. But shout out to Reynolds. He looks more like the 2019 version of him. Kevin Newman does not. And Polanco, I don't know where we're getting out of Polanco. So if Evans isn't technically an outfielder by trade, I think you have a real shot of Swagger to being the second best, because who else has? I mean, Oliva's out for 4 weeks now too. You know, it could be. There's really a shot for that.
I think
He could
all
be
of
like
it is
Brian
healthy.
Hayes. Like Swagger could be here for like 3
Right.
weeks and be the second highest WAR of an outfielder.
Right. I think all of it, if healthy, is the first guy to like get a shot. But yeah, who knows?
Mhm.
That could be an interesting like platoon situation too, where you know Oliva from the right side, Swaggerty from the left side. I do think Oliva needs to be up here at some point, though. Like I want to. He's old enough and he's had enough experience. Like he needs to be up here, I think, just to see what you have in him. Like
I agree
I
with
think
that.
once he's healthy, he should be here.
I almost feel as if like if he was healthy, he would be there right now. I almost feel like that was the path that he was on. But then, of course, he got injured.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, I would have thought he would have been either him or Goodwin. You know,
right. All right. Does that pretty much wrap everything up? Tyler, you good?
Yeah.
Can we get one more last dunk on Jim
so.
about something? Anything?
How about I was able to get
as Machine Gun Kelly says, your beard is weird.
The Topps NFTs and Donardo wasn't. Donardo's upset. Donardo, you're just mad at me because I got the NFTs and you didn't.
No, I am mad at you, and we will have that discussion at another time.
Yeah, so you're just a little upset right now.
Very. That's why I'm gonna defeat you on Adam Frazier.
Hope you do.
Okay, thank you. All right. Well, that sums this show up then. So I guess we will see you guys later. Till then, bye-bye.
Is that Girl Scouts?
Later, guys.